How you doing today? Um, just want to do a little video, just try to see some things. I'm trying to figure out my way around this new thing that I'm trying to do to express myself. Um, Not much to talk about right today. Um, really went online with my son today, but everything went well. When I left him at home with his sister yesterday, and when I left him at home with his sister yesterday, boys, well, they will be boys, but I just keep getting told. I don't know. I don't believe in that crap, but I guess that's what they say. So boys will be boys, and as soon as I got out, I got a phone call from the teacher. We can't. Lamar's mic's not muted, and we don't know why. I can still hear everything that's going on around him. Somebody's there. Is somebody there with him? I'm like, yes, somebody's there. He'd be home by himself. I did call you and let you know I had to go out. I stuck around as long as I could because the class was running late. Every day is about 15 minutes late for some reason. I'm sure they have to get, acclimated into being on time, but the students are there before the teacher is every day now. So it's like they're starting their day out with, playing around, talking about, what they want to talk about. So I'm kind of like supervising my son because I know how he gets very passionate about what he's talking about, and he takes everything so personal, and it's so aggravating. But that's his personality. That's part of me, I guess. So we'll probably see if that's me while we're doing these videos. Once I watch them and look back at them when I get the courage to, because I haven't really been looking back. I skim over it a little bit, and then anyway, I'm talking anyway. So I'm basically I'm out. And hey, one person, but um, I wish I knew who you were, but I um, so as I'm out and I realize, what's going on, so I called my daughter and asked my daughter to let me know what's going on, why the mic is not muted. Anyway, so Um, while I am looking for, um, I'm going to go get my other daughter to take her to a doctor appointment for her children. So, like I said, I'm out, and I called my other daughter back at home, my 16-year-old daughter who's at home on her classes, to interrupt her, her classes, to tell her to mute Lamar's mic and go in the kitchen so they will not be able to hear what she's got going on in her class. So she did that, and I was hoping that it was resolved as I was out, because I didn't get a call back to let me know if there's anything further going on. But um, I'm understanding that with my son, I have to actually be sitting right beside him in order for him to stay focused. I have to constantly remind him, you need to stay focused on what you're doing. Listen to what's going on. He's so ready to correct. And maybe that's a part of me. I'm a corrector. I correct myself all the time. And I wonder if that's affecting him in a negative way. Because even if he's wrong, he's still trying to correct. He's not trying to find the information and then correct. And that he's trusting his judgment to say this is the way it should be. So this is the way it is. Without gathering facts. And I'm a corrector, but I try my best to gather facts before I correct. And that's when correcting myself. And if I see someone that's acting in a behavior that's incorrect, which is not paying attention in class, I'm going to say, you're not being correct. So in that, yeah, I was thinking of, I'm getting off the topic, but anyway, while I was out, I was with my cousin, and when I was with my cousin, we have a good relationship at this point, but it was a lot of rocky things that went on through our childhood that now we're mostly like sisters. So, so my mother has passed away, and she's no longer with us, but her sister is her mother, and so she said that her and her mother were talking, and they were having a conversation, I guess, about me and how I raise my children. My daughter's leaving, going to the beach for the weekend. Ooh. Anyway, so they're discussing me and my kids, I guess, and how we interact with one another. And she went to say, Mama was saying that you grew up a lot different than we did. Your mama was very strict, and there's a lot of things that you couldn't do, and a lot of places that you couldn't go. And your mama was very strict on you, so that might be something that has to do with how you raise children. And it made me think, and it's been making me think all day yesterday. Not so much is am I doing the right things by my children, but instilling them in some of the things that my mama instilled in me. And I thought about my mama wanted me to be like a perfect child. But I had so many imperfections that she would mask them with certain other things that I was capable of. Rather than dealing with the things that I was not capable of that were very important, she would mask them with the things that I was more talented with. and she was a teacher. So you would think that she would be able to teach her daughter, but it was very difficult for her because I guess that she felt like I should be getting it because I was her daughter. I don't know. But childhood traumas and situations can cause blockers in learning and in educating yourself. Childhood traumas can cause you to regress, regress into a state of quietness. And that's what I was. I was very quiet. So it appeared that I was a very good listener. So she instilled listening into me. And so today, I listen and I pay attention to what people say and I articulate what they say, and I use the definitions of the words that they say to understand and communicate with myself what they are saying. But a lot of times I hear people talk and the definitions that they're using, the words that they're using, don't fit the definition of the word. So it turns makes me think about the intelligence of that other person. But that's what my mother taught me to do. She taught me to listen and pay attention. So that's what I've been doing. So when I see people not listening and not paying attention, it affects me in a way is, what is the reason? What is so difficult about listening and paying attention? Because if you listen, you'll gain knowledge on the next step that you need to take. And so if the next step that you need to take is a positive step, then you can proceed in that step. But if the step that you're going to take is going to cause other people and yourself to do negative things, then what will be the purpose in that? So I thought about that because I'm a thinker, because I was taught to think. And then I started thinking about some things that I do in front of people with my children, and it causes them to put perfection on them. Like, you should know better because your mother says that you should know better. But in their mind, they're thinking, I'm not my mother. I'm me. I have my own thoughts. Even though my own thoughts are watching the other children doing what they're doing, and I want to do it as well. So you're telling me that they can do it and their parents are telling them no, but I can't do it, and my parent is telling me no? Why is it that they can do it? And so my family members will not go against me. And they will tell me, your child is doing this, and the other. And I, in turn, will say to my child, you know you're not supposed to be doing that. So they, in turn, will project the positivity that I am showing to my child as a negative, as they are not listening to you. But the other children are not listening to their parents either. The other children are not listening to their parents either, and they're out of control with the not listening. At least the children that I'm raising have a control. They have calculated. My son is calculated in his deception, which is very, very alarming to me. But because I know this, if I don't teach it out of him, he will continue in the behavior when he becomes an adult. But if you continuously allow someone to do something and you tell them, no, don't do that, and they continuously do that, and you say, oh, well, they're going to do it anyway, you don't show them boundaries, that there's a line that needs not to be crossed. You don't go into my space, and I don't go into your space. That's a space of thinking and the space of doing. You don't enter into the space of another person because you don't know what you're entering into unless you're greeting them with positivity. If you're not greeting them with positivity, then all of a sudden there's going to be anger. So, yesterday, every day I have a story to tell when I leave my house. If I don't leave my house, I don't have a story to tell. But life will come and meet you when you leave out of your comfort zone. You just have to know what to do when you reach it. So, as I said, I took a visit with my family member and we came back. So my day was very full because normally I'm doing nothing. So it was full with all the riding that I had to do. So my journey took me to wash my clothes at the washery because I am living with my boyfriend and my furniture is at my home, which I cannot live in my home at this time because of a situation that's going on with a contract company that has not contacted me about relocating my home. So much is going on in my life that is so um, everywhere. Anyway, so as I'm traveling to the washer to wash my clothes, um, I go there every week to the same place. I've gotten to know most of the staff there, and I treat everyone nicely when I'm there. I talk to them. We have conversations to the staff, and we've been coming in and out through this pandemic, and um, I am a licensed carrier, as I said before. So I carry my gun with me. There's no sign on the door that says I cannot bring my gun in. I've watched it. Brought my gun in there before plenty of times with employees in there that say nothing, and they have the mask situation on the door, and because will look suspect walking into a washerette, I'm not walking in there, the washerette, and I'm not 6 feet close to someone. I mean, I'm 6 feet away from everyone that's there. There's nobody in there, so I'm not causing harm to anyone. And I have a mask to put on my face. I go into the place. My son is 9, about to be 10. My daughter is 16. She has a mask. She goes back to the car. She goes get her mask. And the woman stops her at the door and tells her, you can't come in here without a mask on. Now, I wouldn't have had a problem with that if she had not been so aggressive with her behavior. I would have not been upset had I not had seen a different behavior in her treating another customer differently. The young lady walked inside the place without a mask on. She said nothing. So I had a mask. My mask is right now on my head because it's a little round thing, like a little scarf you can put around your head and all that good stuff. But I wear it as a mask because it's mine. So I have it around my neck. It's very hot. It's very hot. And I am a person who is a fitness instructor and healthcare consultant. another protocol of masks and how effective and not effective they are. And this is a laundromat with less than 4 people in the laundromat. Okay. And we're spaced nicely apart. And even if we all use the washers, we're responsible American people who know how to social distance ourselves 6 feet apart. So I walk in, she stops me at the door, and she says, "You can't come in here without a mask." I said, "Excuse me, ma'am, I have a gun on my side. I'm licensed to carry, and I do not have to put a mask on my face because it's suspect. You can call the police and say I'm getting ready to rob the place." And I walked past her, having to move past her while she was in my direct way. As a matter of fact, she had the mask here and here is where she had this mask. So you are supposed to be protecting yourself from me because you're saying I don't have a mask on, but you do, and you're more than a feet away from me. You're less, excuse me, you're less than a feet away from me. What is the behavior about? I didn't understand it at all. But I let her show herself as a negative energy. And I explained to her once again. And she proceeded to tell me that I could not bring my firearm into the business. I said, "Where is that stated?" Because I come in here with my firearm every time I come in here, and I've never had anyone to say anything about it. So, why are you saying something to me about anything? And I'm just coming to wash my clothes. What is the aggression for? Someone yells out across the room, "Ma'am, she's only doing her job." I said, "No, ma'am, she's overdoing her job, and I want to know why. I want to know why. What is going on here? I just came in here like I normally do to wash my clothes. I'm going to call my supervisor." I said, "Please do. Please do. Ma'am, you don't know me. I'm not the one to behave in this manner. I haven't done anything to you. I came here to wash my clothes." As I proceeded to wash my clothes, my children are there. Proceeded to put my clothes. Mind you, she came in and jumped in front of my son's face as well and told him he had to put on a mask too. But according to the World Health Organization and the CDC, it's 0 to 12, no mask. So, with that being said, there's something going on here that's not right, and I need to figure out what it is. I'm an investigator. I told you, I listen and I pay attention because that's what my mama taught me to do. So I proceeded on to wash my clothes, putting everything in this washing machine because I'm thinking to myself, if they make me take my clothes out of this washing machine and I'm not doing anything to negatively affect this establishment, it's going to be a problem with the establishment because I'm doing nothing wrong. And I'm a fighter. I'm not going to lose because it's nothing to lose. I have my children here. You're bullying me for no reason that I can see and anybody around could see. Because you didn't stop the other lady at the door with no mask on. I watched her walk in twice. No mask. She went out to the car and got a mask. After the lady kept saying something to my children. So whenever I'm talking to this young lady and I'm steady, I'm saying to my daughter, I don't know what's going on. And then I said, why are you so invested in what's going on? This has nothing to do with you. Why are you talking? I'm not talking to you. Why do you feel like you're invested? Because that's your mother? So while you, as an employee, you have your children at your job combating with customers about the welfare of their safety. Two women were murdered here in Robeson County, Lumberton, North Carolina, doing their everyday work, school. They left behind children. Do you think me as a mother hen is going to allow you to take away my freedom? Today, I said no way. So as my children, huh? I'm on the way out. All right, baby. Bye. Love you too. So as my children um, watched and followed my instructions and paid attention, I proceeded to continue what I was doing, and the supervisor arrives. I don't know the supervisor arrives because I'm doing my motherly duties that I came here to do. And so, as I put my stuff in the washing machine, I feel something behind me standing that doesn't feel like mine, but I felt the negative energy like waving out. So, like I said, I pay attention to everything. I turned around, but when I turned around, before I turned around, I was already this way. And I turned around and I smiled and I said, hey. And she starts to laugh. And she's laughing so hard. Like, I knew it was you. I knew it was you. Not in the, you see, when she laughed, it was like, I like this lady. I knew it was you. What's going on? She already knew. See, your how you treat people will make a difference in how you get treated later on. So I proceeded to say, so what you come in here to tell me to do something, like tell me, you come in here to tell me what to do too? Something I can't do too? She says, no, no, no. But, so we both smiling and communicating like adults, because that's what adults do. They communicate professionally. And I said to her, I don't know what's going on today. I come here like I come here every week and I wash my clothes. You know that. You know what I do. You know how I do it. I don't know what's going on today. I said, but as soon as we came up in this place, it was a problem. I proceeded to tell her everything that happened from beginning to end. And I said, I don't. So she starts to talk. And she says, no, she had an attitude. She came in here and I was thinking, what attitude? I was in the car dropping my stuff off, and my kids was taking care of everything. I wasn't doing anything. I was in my car and I was messing with my phone. So I'm paying attention to what my children are doing, but I'm not paying attention to you because I don't know you to pay attention to you. You're the employee. You come here to supervise and make sure that everything's taken care of at this washer, and you're doing a job that is tremendous because you're stopping people at the daggone door. Or my people, at least. So you are doing an excellent job as far as they would be concerned, I would get. So I'm thinking, I don't know what's going on. I said, she said, I said, ma'am, you, why are you talking? You called for your supervisor. Your supervisor is here. She's here to petition for you, to talk to you. Why are you talking? You don't have to talk. Now, could you please let your supervisor handle this? You couldn't let her do this. So I continued to talk to the young lady, and I said to her, I don't know if anybody's manning these cameras, but if they are, they will see. She stopped my children. As soon as they came to the door, she allowed my son to bring in all this stuff and then stopped him at 9 years old. Didn't ask him, son, how old are you? How old are you, babe? Because she didn't know the law. She didn't ask him that. She just sitting in there working. She asked that. So how many people she gonna stop like that? She don't like their attitude. You know? You get a position and you feel like you're the big dog. You are just an employee at this place to make sure that the safety of the people is in here. I'm not coming in there. I'm coming in with bags of clothes. You don't come to wash my clothes. I'm a woman with 2 kids. What you think about? What you think I'm gonna do? And everybody got something in here. They can't come here and drop their stuff and say, we taking this place hostage. Come on now. This is before I even get out of the car. She don't even know I got a gun until I get out the car and let's tell her. She didn't pay attention to that. She didn't know. So it wasn't like we were aggressively coming in. We were coming in like normal people. So I don't know what that was about at that time. And I got a little quiet down. Our supervisor handled it. And then I proceeded to tell her, I remember my mama coming to you at a time of your need when you was crying out for assistance and she helped you. She said, no, your mama didn't do that. You got me wrong. But her child stood there and just in awe, like, you do know my mama. And when I said my mother's name, she stood there and looked. She said nothing. So as I proceeded to say this, that, and the other about how she was a negative person and how her aura was wrong and how if she had an issue with me, she's handling it the wrong way because I don't treat people like that. And she was a bully, and I didn't want to be bullied by her or anybody else, and my children were not going to be bullied by her. She proceeded to continue with her bullying, and what came out her mouth made me understand everything from the beginning to the ending. I know she felt like crap after. Because what I said after what she said, I hope made her feel just as low as the dirt in that laundromat. She said to me, or to her supervisor, it's not about the mask. It's about Patricia Arnett, which I said my aunt's name. I shouldn't have done that. And her husband. So when this was said to me in my hearing, what came out of my mouth was, oh, I see what's going on here. You are a hoe. In front of her child and her possible grandchild. That's what I see. That should have started a dang old big old fight. But she was so adamant about the reason why I came in there with an attitude was because of my uncle and my aunt. She didn't even hear what I said, but I know her children did. I know her seeds hurt me. She's angry with me, which I don't know nothing about this. I just came to wash my clothes. I didn't know this woman was in there. I don't know she even got a job here because I thought I knew all the people. But you know, people come and people go. And I came at a different time. I usually come at a different time. So I'm finding out at the laundromat that you've been sleeping with my aunt's husband. You've been sleeping with my aunt's husband. And you think I got something to do with it. You the one having sex with him. I ain't being up with this man. He my uncle. He's my uncle. What I gotta do is I'm not fighting with you. If you want to get that old man some loving, go ahead. It has nothing to do with me. I take my aggression out on nobody. I talk to him how I talk to him. I'm 47. He's 60 something years old. He's never been an uncle to me. So what you want me to defend him? Not defend him? I don't care. So being that you treating me like this because of my uncle and my real time aunt, he a step uncle. And my uncle and my aunt been together forever. They like best friends. They like best friends. They only live in the same house, but they see each other every day. They like best friends. You think you coming in between that? Like I ain't got nothing to do with that. But if that's what your life is about, and that's what you're showing your child and your grandchild, then keep it going, sis. Keep it going. Keep it going. So her and her daughter are discussing this because I guess they feel like this is the time to discuss it. And they're discussing this in front of this other young child. And I hope this young child is not taking on the spirit of her grandmother and her mama, because that would be a negative spirit. And that's not the way we need to continue on in life, thinking that that's good and it's okay. The man is married. In regards to what he do, you'll have to do it with him. You have to be a part of that cycle. You're showing that to your daughters. I refuse to show something like that to my daughters. The man is in my life. If he can't be in my life and be the only one, I'll be the only one in his life, then I don't need him. She don't even know what's going on with this man. She don't know he's sick. I said he's sick. He need help. You worrying about me coming here and washing my clothes with a mask on? Go over there and help the man that you crying out for. He's sick. He can't even hold himself together. He needs your help. You over here bothering me and my kids. Why? I'm not my aunt. You can't mess with the weak and defenses, but you can mess with me. But you got the wrong one because I'm a little bit more spry than you are. You know, you got your little daughter with you. I'm a little bit more spry than you are. I ain't no fighter, but I ain't no arguing either. So I don't argue. I discuss. If you don't like the discussion, please understand I'm not gonna take it back. It's how I feel, and you doing this to me. I ain't done nothing to you. I've done nothing. So those things they happen. I call my aunt. I call my aunt's daughter. I told her what happened because I had to piece everything together. My mind went back in reverse. Everything happened for a reason. Everything that you go through in life happens for a good, stable reason. Because you have to stay in the loop. If you get out of the loop, once you get into the situation, then you be like, why is this happening to me? It's for clarification, for understanding, for you to progress in your everyday life. So weeks back, my cousin and I are together. Where I can't remember where we were, but she pointed out this same lady and said, I think that lady is Mr. Ronald, my dad, stepdad. And I said, oh, really? Looked at her with just a glance, not even to know really what she looked like at the time, because it was like the old really. Then I went back in reverse when she said what she said about the relationship between my aunt and her and my uncle. Boom, light bulb. That light bulb just went off so bright. So that's why Edgy said to you, this is the woman. Because that was confirmation that this woman is acting to you this way. Because if I didn't have that information of what this woman looked like, the next time might be a next time. I need to know exactly. We're living in a time you don't know the prediction of another man. You don't know the mind of a man ever. People are so unpredictable in their ways. We leave it, and I'm feeling like, I don't know, maybe they might call somebody to come and see me about what I did. So I'm on edge, and I'm watching, and I see a car, and it didn't move until I moved. I watched my perimeter. So the car didn't move till I moved. So when I moved up, the car could have been gone on about the business and went on where they had to go. So and they rushed up. So that rush up made me say, oh, let me just back up, slow down. I don't know what you got going on. But I'm not automatically thinking it might be somebody that they might have sent for me. I don't know these people. If you're big and bad enough to jump up in my face at a laundromat, anything can happen. Anything can happen as far as I'm concerned. So I said, go ahead. You can go ahead. They don't. They first they inched up like they were gonna go ahead, and they was like, "Nah, I'm gonna sit here." I said, oh, "Okay." So I go right past the car, look at the car, look in the car. It's tinted windows, but I see a silhouette. Looks like a dreadhead or a person with a hood on. One of the two. I look at the car. I look at the license plate. I don't need you behind me. I need you to be behind you. So I go on, turn around, and look. See, they going off in another direction. I guess they might have followed me if I didn't. See where I'm going? Maybe. This behavior, when I say saving our children starts at home, this made me start thinking about the young lady that was in the washer, which was her granddaughter. I'm assuming it was her granddaughter because I don't really think that she has a child that might be about 12 or 13 years old, because that's about the age this young lady was. She might have been younger because, children looking, less mature um, now, thank God, for some reason. Anyway, um, so while I'm in the washerette, and the mom and the daughter leaves out of the washerette, but the granddaughter stays in the washerette, the washing, whatever you want to call it. Washerette. I'm from the country, so the country people, down south people, so we call it a washerette or a wash house. Anyway, so I'm in there and I'm talking to my children, and I'm really wanting to understand. I really don't appreciate, and I want her to hear. I don't appreciate her doing this in front of my children. I don't I don't appreciate her negatively affecting her own family. I don't understand why people would do something that's so heinous as commit adultery against someone and then act like they are entitled to respect. Um, I think it's total disrespect if you're in a relationship, whether you're married or not. I'm saying in a relationship with someone, whenever you're married and you're separated, you're not with that person no more. I feel like if you're not going back and forth, you're not in a relationship with that person anymore. Or if you are in a relationship with somebody that's a significant other relationship, and you and that person one on one, it shouldn't be you going outside that relationship. So I'm basically saying that to my children, you know, so that she can hear what I'm saying. You know, I want her to hear that there's an etiquette about who you are and where you are as a person. If you attach yourself to another individual that has already been in a relationship for a long period of time or been in a relationship with someone, and you're continuously trying to insert yourself in that relationship. I wanted her to hear that. I wanted her to hear how I interact with my kids to the point where I'm not just showing you how to be negative. I want you to see that that's right there is a negative behavior and it does not need to be seen by anybody. Um, and as she sat there, I felt her spirit of like, why did my grandma do that? Why would she do that to these people? Just to prove a point for what? And I said to myself, whenever someone behaves in a manner like that, I want their offspring to see that kind of behavior is not acceptable. We don't move in a circle of harming someone. We move in a circle of uplifting people. If we uplift one another and show them grace and mercy and show them, even in spite of your cultural differences, your background, who you feel like they should be in your life, in spite of all of that, you have to first have knowledge of what you do to other people. It does not matter how somebody else treats you. It matters how you treat other people when they treat you negatively. Explain to them, because some people don't even understand at this point in time. I'm seeing people don't even understand the proper etiquette and how you treat. They feel like that if you correct or say something to them that they made a mistake and that you're coming against them. And it's not. You're not coming you're not coming against anybody. I come from church and I probably will never go back to church again ever in my life. But there's principles and order in some of those things that were said. And to teach, not to govern your life, but to teach you how to love. And one of the things that can teach you how to love is thinking this at all times. Blessed, blessed is he that is not offended at me. The person who is not offended can reap so many blessings by not being offended by someone who corrects them. As a child, I hated being corrected as a child. It was like the worst thing. Like my son, the worst thing. It felt like I'm doing everything that I can, but you're not because you're putting stuff in a big old box. I'm making a small box. It's a small screen. Yeah. You put anything in a little bit in a box, basically, and you're not coming out in this three-dimensional situation saying it could be another way. Who's to say that that person's way is the right way? It's the right way for you, but it might not be the right way for me. My right way may be doing things that's going to edify me. Your thing will be to edify you, but you could possibly want to edify me, and I could possibly want to edify you. But that should be my choice. You can't make me say, "Oh, this is what you got to do this." No, you're not obligated to anything or anybody. You're obligated to yourself. First, be true to who? You. Who else you gonna be true to? And you have to be honest with yourself. If these are the things that you're doing, own them. Take them on them, research them in yourself, figure out why you're doing it. I had to realize why I was doing a lot of things that I was doing in relationships. I had to realize because you have been groomed from a child to satisfy a man. You've been groomed from a child to satisfy a man. So in every relationship you get in, you're gonna be trying to satisfy that man. Forget about satisfying yourself. You're gonna be trying to satisfy that man. And everything you're gonna do is gonna be trying to satisfy that man until you get miserable. And then you be like, why am I doing it? And you start like, I can't believe I done spent all my time, all my life with this thing on me. And he ain't doing it. You wanted to do that. you wanted you were enjoying it when it was happening. It was fun until it stopped being fun. But then you gotta go back to when did it stop being fun? What happened? What made it not be fun anymore? Was it a slap in the face? Was it disrespectful tone? Was it the way somebody backed up in the car and went forward in the car? We choose whenever we want to be dead somebody. What you dead them for? You trying to kill a part of you? Kill it. Kill it. Cut it off at the root. That means stop doing it. That's another scripture in the Bible is teaching people how to do stuff. And you took it literally. Not you per se. But I mean, you gotta look at the way the world's going. We've been living this fairy tale fantasy Christmas, Santa Claus, Michelangelo, Christopher Columbus, Voodoo Buddha stuff for so long. Where the reality at? Reality is common sense. Ain't nobody using that because we cartoon ourselves to death. We Bugs Bunny ourselves to death. We game showed ourselves to death. We hip hopped ourselves to death. And then get knowledge and consciousness about everything around us. We said, oh well, I'm just gonna live my life. Pause. Good.
So my test?
No, I didn't see the text. Really? Why you keep saying that? Why you keep saying that? What you missing? What you want?
Darling, some soup.
Huh?
I want to put some okra.
You want okra?
Yeah, with your brain.
Okay.
The palm oil.
But what you talking about? We broke with food and cash. What you talking about?
Huh?
We ain't got no food?
Yeah, we put some brain with okra.
Okay. We ain't got none? You saying we ain't got none? There's some in the freezer, right? What you talking about?
Yeah, baby. Put a little bit of shrimp.
You want the whole shrimp or you want the shrimp powder shrimp?
The one we bought from Ascabad, you still have it?
I got the one that I got from the grocery store.
Okay, just some like that. Give me some flavor. Thank you. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Put some palm oil. Love you. Bye.
Love you too, baby. So anyway, did you leave? Oh my gosh, no, you didn't leave. Anyway, so I don't even know where I was at. But anyway, that was my sweetie calling me wanting food. As usual, that's the eating man. I know that likes anybody eats me that. He's a big old tree, so big old African tree. So yeah. And so I had to figure out, everything I'm doing to try to please these people, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm a people pleaser. So I'm out here trying to please these people. And I'm forgetting about, Stacey, you matter. You truly matter, and realize that, the world is infinite. There's nothing that can stop you or anything stop you is you. You stop you. You stop you. If you don't know anything about you, you stopping you. And that's what I've learned um, when becoming this health conscious person when it comes down to my health. Um, I had to start thinking differently and eating differently. So this is what I came up with. And I know that most people have not heard it like this, but I tell people this a lot. And if you hear it, it came from me because um, I've been looking and yes, I'm still training, honey. Who is Nicole Thomas? You ready to get trained? I said, I'm ready, but you're not ready. But I will respond to your text message, but I know you're not ready. Yes, ma'am. And so this is what I came up with for myself. This was for me. I thought about, what I was eating, how I was eating, and this is. Can you help me? Yeah, I'm ready. She says, "Can you help me? I'm ready." When you want to start? When do you want to start, sweetheart? Me, you same way. You good? Okay, sorry, I'm getting back to you. I'm so sorry. Let me tell you this part because this is very important, and this is what I came up with. And when I first started on my journey, I'm gonna be all over the place with this because, like I said, all of this starts at home. Because when I tell you my life and my journey, and where's my book at? And these quiet moments, I might one day read you some of this stuff out of here. But I drew this picture of me and my boyfriend when we first got started. And I truly say that, that was a moment that I feel like me drawing the picture of it helped it to come into fruition. I'm not living in a box anymore. I'm coming outside the box and I'm saying, look, we're not looking at nothing in a negative way. And I'm never gonna try my best any harder than staying away from I never. I'm always going to. I don't know if I'm trying to say this wrong, but I'm never going to look at my life as a negative situation ever again. Anything that I don't give a care if one of my children leave me and they don't come back. My daughter's gone now. She's off going on a trip to the beach, and I'm praying that she makes it there safe and back. But if my lose my daughter while she's out there, I'm still not going to think a negative way. I'm not. I refuse to, and I don't want that experience. I never want that experience to hear other people tell me about that experience. I will miss my baby. I will definitely, but I'm not going to pour it in because that kills your spirit. And I have too many things that I need to stay alive for. Too many things. I will definitely cherish any moment of all my children's life. But whenever you allow yourself to consume yourself with negative thoughts, I lost my mom at a young age, but at an old age, so that I got to spend a whole lot of time with her. So I lost my best friend, in other words. Excuse me. So this is what I decided. starting out, I decided that I would change the portions in which I ate. At this time, I was eating meat. I was eating ground turkey, and I was eating chicken, and I was eating fish at the time, or seafood. So after starting to change my portions, which were I started to put my food on a saucer, either about this big or this big. Gosh, here we go. This might be my cousin coming about that. You might be one person. You might be able to get some hot juicy stuff off this one. Yes, ma'am. Maybe not.
Hey,
Hey.
y'all, y'all coming in here to eat.
Yeah. So this girl's texting me, and I'm on a live right now. I said this girl's texting me. I'm on a live right now, but yeah.
Okay then. I was just saying we already over here.
I see. I don't know if I'm. Your mama there already?
No,
Your mom there already?
yeah.
Is your mom?
Yeah, she about she cooking now.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
she's already
she
cooking.
went to
There you
go
go,
to
too fast. Okay. Oh wow.
She talking about tell she wait about 10 more minutes.
What about wait about 10 more minutes? Okay. So I said okay. I was gonna take a nap, but don't look like I'm gonna get a chance to do that. So I'll be down there in a little bit.
Well, do what you gotta do for you.
Yeah, I gotta cook Leo something to eat. So it'll be a minute before I get down there.
Look, just say I can't.
No, why would I say that? I didn't say that because I told her I was coming. I didn't talk to her.
Well, excuse me, Mr. Pistol.
Whatever.
Cover mom.
Mhm.
Okay, let me let you get ready.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Okay.
Sorry,
Huh?
that must have been me.
Yeah. It was definitely you. It's
Somebody's phone ring.
not mine. Bye.
Oh, okay. I'm trying to cut you off.
Dang on it. Okay, so since we can work out every day, let me know what you think I need. I see. Okay, got authorized for high blood pressure. Yeah, whatever you think I would do. Okay, love. Let's start with something. Oh. Whoa.
I got to check people alone.
Get off.
What did you do with the crowbar? It's not up by no more. You're not getting angry. If you're here, put it down.
Come to the door, nigga.
Put it down, nigga.
Oh gosh.
So what is around my test? What's going on?
Huh?
What if I that?
Why you keep saying that? What you try? What you see? What you not seeing that you? What you trying to see? In the doggone refrigerator. What's in the refrigerator that's missing that you don't see? That you want to see?
No. 3 more hours to go.
What do you want to see in the refrigerator? You keep talking.
It's like counting.
What you looking for? Everything is in there that was in there before.
Yeah?
Yeah. What you looking for? I believe you just want something else and you don't know what it is. That's what that is. You want something else besides them greens. You want something else. You don't know what you want? What you want, some turkey wings? What you want, some turkey wings?
And also I went from the other side, from behind.
What? What you talking about? What's going on? What's going on with you? Who are you?
Yesterday, 3 o'clock, I woke up, I couldn't sleep. And I was wishing that somebody disappeared. God, I want to retire from work. I'm tired of working. Let me, I'm tired of work. I'm so tired. I've worked all my life. From 18 work, school, business, family, work, whatever work.
I might have me a client.
Tired of working. I just want to retire.
You hear what I said?
Huh?
Did you hear what I said?
No.
I might have a client.
Yeah?
Yep.
Yeah, that's good. I'll send you a video from my brother Christopher. You will laugh. He's a pastor.
Okay.
He was telling the guy that he lost his something. It's Nigeria, but you understand.
Mm-hmm.
I'll send it to you now, okay? I'll send it to you. See you.
Okay, baby. I was trying to read her text message. I'm doing like 3 things at one time.
I'll see you.
Okay. Love you too, babe.
Is Lema gone?
Yeah, she just left probably about 20 minutes ago.
Wow, that's good. Good to have fun for the weekend.
Yeah. I said, you got some money? She's like, yeah. I said, how much money you got? She's like, I got $130. What's like you getting that damn $130 for? Daddy. God. Gracious. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let that go.
Yeah.
All right, I'll talk to you later, okay?
Okay.
Bye.
Bye, baby. Okay. So now I gotta make turkey wings. Oh, I gotta go to the store now to get some turkey wings for this beautiful man. Anyway, I'm doing too much. I'm doing way too much right now. Okay. So what was I talking about? Oh my God. You can't rewind the video, can you? A live video. Oh, I remember where I was. Portion control. So I started the portion control. And once I started the portion control, I put it on a plate around about this size. So my plates began to get, well, they started from this size and no, they were small, little small sizes. And then I got around that size. So I would put all my food that I was going to eat on that saucer. And once I started putting up the food that I was eating on that saucer, and plus I was exercising a tad bit, not much, because I was having pains with my back, and I was going through issues with my back and sciatica. I had got in a car accident, and from the car accident, pain began to get worse. So that was another reason, because I was almost like 378 pounds overweight, and that's how much I weighed at the time. And so I said, let me just, back up, try something different. So I did that, and I started portion control. But this is the thing: once I ate my food, would drink in between eating, and I was drinking a lot of more water at the time because I was already retaining a lot of water. So I my body was in reverse, just holding on to the water, because I guess at the time before there was not enough water in my system. I'm thinking, this is only my thoughts on how my body was reacting. So, because now at this point, I can't drink a lot of water now. So at the time I started drinking more water with my food. I guess it was, purifying more and coming out of my body more. I was eating foods that were easier to digest. I stopped eating beef altogether. I didn't eat any beef anymore. I stopped eating the beef because the beef was harder to digest. And every time I ate beef, my fingernails and my toenails and my the pigmentation in my skin would get darker. So I was like, something's not right, when I eat this beef. I feel like my system is being poisoned. Not that because the darkness that was coming was a dark ashy looking color. It was not like oil. Like now my face has, you can see the oiliness and the dexterity in my skin. For me, this is the way my skin is now, because at the time it was getting a little dry and dark. So I was like, something's not right with this. And then I couldn't even eat the hamburger meat, because every time I would try to prepare it, or any beef products, I would try to prepare them, I would feel like very, very nauseous. So I couldn't even deal with it like that. So I began to do that, and I started to eat more vegetables. At the end of the night, if I would get hungry, I would eat more vegetables, so that I was getting more natural sugars. I would say, rather than eating like a Twinkie and something bready, I would try to reverse it with something sweet and fruity like grapes. That would just like quench that sugar craving in me, because if you eat a lot of sugar, white sugar, and then you just stop eating a lot of white sugar, then all of a sudden your body's going to be like, oh my God, what's going on here? And it's going to attack, and you're going to start going in convulsions, like DTs, sugar DTs. So I didn't want that to happen, because I've been through that before. I mean, I really, really watch and can research my own body, because I don't trust what somebody else can tell me about what's in me without researching and doing blood tests and all that good stuff like that. And most of the time, whenever you go to the doctor, they're only doing a blood sugar test, and they're not doing the chemical test to tell you what you have inside your body. They're not doing that. So if you think that's happening, it's not happening. They're just doing a blood checking your blood sugar, if you got any anomalies in your blood, as far as your glucose and things like that. Unless you ask for that specific panel, it's not happening. Okay, so I began to, research my own body. And so I started seeing things that was going on with my body and the changes that started happening. And, I began to, intake less protein, as a matter of fact, than I was taking it in before. Because I feel like that I had a protein overload in my body. And it's possible to have, and it will make you gain weight. And because protein is sugar. A lot of people don't know that. But anyway, protein is sugar. So it's a different type of sugar, but it's sugar. That's what makes sticky. It's a little sticky. Yeah. So common sense, when you play with it enough, you'll figure it out. But anyway, so as I continue to journey on through my my walk with this health thing, get my health together, because I'm a heart congestive heart failure survivor. I want to say congestive heart failure survivor. Hmm. Um, I never thought about it that way, but I am. So, and I can say I truly did this without the assistance of a doctor. No doctor helped me with this. So, and no weight loss consultant either. I consulted myself. I researched myself. So, anyway, so as I continued on my little journey, I started exercising more because I had more energy. And so I started exercising, doing exercises in my bed. I will show you one day the exercises that I did in my bed. And so that you will see, I might do it in the upload to a video. That way, I'll be able to do it on my phone rather than a laptop, because I think laptop might be a little bit, some of this stuff out of the way so I can pan down. I don't want y'all all in my business to see everything that goes on in my house. Because my bed is not made right now, and I'm not going to make it, because I'm going to lay back down in it in a little bit. Oh, God, I can't. I forgot I got to cook. So, let's see if I can pan down a little bit. But so, yeah. Yeah, a little bit. Okay. So, now I'll be able to show you a couple of, sorry for moving the camera or whatever. I'll be able to show you a couple of things that I did in the exercise in my bed. But a lot of it was done because I couldn't do regular exercise anywhere else. My back was hurting so bad. So once I started getting control over the fluid that was on my body, and with that, I did use physician's help not to go get any medication. I had already had medication from. I kept it. Somebody probably said, "I didn't do that. You shouldn't have that. This might do something to you." It didn't. I'm not. Disclaimer: I'm not suggesting or proclaiming or telling anybody to do this. This is what I did. Disclaimer: this is what I did. I did this. Me. I'm not telling you to do it. I did it myself. Okay. With that being said, I had some fluid retention pills called Lasix. It is a prescription that was prescribed to me, and I had a prescription of potassium, which was prescribed to me, because I know that both of them have to be taken together in order for them to be effective inside the body, and will decrease. I'm not saying it will eliminate. It will decrease damage. I should say decrease a I'm gonna give you a good word. It would decrease the possibilities of having issues that would happen if you did not take both of them together. And that being said, they have to be taken together. It's a necessary thing. Anybody that takes Lasix, they need to have a potassium pill to go with it, because you have to balance out your pH in your body with the potassium, because you need that. With that being said, because you can go into shock, you can have a stroke if you take too much water out of your body and don't replenish it with potassium. You need that. If you don't take the potassium pills, you need to take you do bananas. If you're gonna follow my lead, which I'm not telling you to. So that's what I did. I've used the potassium pills rather than to use the bananas all the time. Because I did use both. And I didn't want to just put all of those chemicals in my body. I don't use pills unless I deem it necessary. I'm not a doctor, but as long as I deem it necessary, because my life is in my own hands. I'm not gonna kill myself, and I'm definitely not gonna intentionally put something inside my body that I'm not gonna research before I put it in there. So I was prescribed the medication prior to me taking it. So I had education on how to take it. Okay. And I had foreknowledge from the doctor, and I had foreknowledge from my mother because she had a heart condition as well. Okay, not necessarily mean this is a genetic thing because her heart was different. Her heart situation was way different from mine. Okay, her heart has a density in it, and it is a malaffected, and it has an indention. I said has because my mother is passed away, but her heart is still intact. They can take her heart out; she still has it intact. I don't talk about my mama in the past. I talk about her in the present. Anybody that has a problem with that, that's your problem. It's my mother. So, with that being said, once I started realizing, okay, I can take some of the fluid off of me by doing this, but I need to coincide with other measures as well as doing this and my eating habits. So I need to make sure that I'm eating the correct things. It's going to cause me to have the chlorophyll in my body to supplement all the other things that I could possibly not be getting from this, not eating this meat that I'm usually eating. I needed a buffer to wean myself off. So that's what I did. And as I weaned myself off, I began to have like certain colds. I would get colds, and I would be lightheaded. Sometimes I would get, it was all of it was withdrawals. Everything that I was going through, it was a withdrawal from things that I probably didn't even need in my body to start off with. So after the withdrawals and after me, understanding what the withdrawals were from that, um, I started to understand why I was having so much pain after the fact of me having my gallbladder removed. Because I had my gallbladder removed, but I was still having really, really bad stomach pain in my abdomen, um, below the lower level of my stomach, and I just couldn't understand it. I thought to myself, this should be this should be over. I shouldn't be feeling this. I have my gallbladder out. I should be feeling this pain, but I was feeling the pain, and I was constantly eating certain things that I know now, no, probably I know now that I shouldn't have been eating, which was dairy products. The dairy products were uh, becoming like cottage cheese in my stomach, and would in turn come out as and position itself as drying my intestinal tract out. And so whenever I'm you go to use the restroom and to defecate, my stool will be very, very chalky. And so I noticed that. And I noticed that even with that, I was having stomach pains in the bottom of my stomach where my bowel line is. The only reason why I know this is where my bowel line is because I had surgery to remove my tubes from my bowel line when I was like about 19 years old from laparoscopic surgery that I obtained from endometriosis, from having endometriosis. So, um, so anytime I have a gas buildup, I feel it. Probably because I have scar tissue there, no doubt. Because anytime you have surgery, there's a possibility of scar tissue building, and it's going to affect you your body. And so I, in turn, talk to my body internally whenever these things start happening. So this is the reason why I can feel the electromagnetic current from the pain. And I, in turn, try to find out where that pain is. It might sound strange, but you'll be able to do that if you pay attention to your body and you know what's going on in your body. I'm not doing this because I want to, make myself look good or make it seem like I know what I'm talking about, because this is a living process. I'm living this, so this is how I know it. I've not researched anybody else doing it within themselves. I did it for myself, and this is what I got back in return. So as I journeyed on to, I do a lot of rocking. You have to excuse me. I thought I'm cold too. It's chilly in here. Probably should turn off the fan, but I'm cold. Anyway, so with the portion control and still feeling pain in my stomach, I decided, there's something else that I need to do. So I cut out the dairy products, and I cut out some of the dairy products because I love eggs so much, and I love cheese so much. I said, well, I just eat that every once. But I love eggs, so I was eating the eggs. I love it. And then I started putting two and two together about the eggs and the proteins and stuff that was in the eggs. And I was thinking to myself, I might need to slow down on the eggs because that protein is too much for me. I can't handle all that protein overload. So I had to stop eating the eggs. Dang it. Can you hear? I cry every time I see eggs sticking at schools. Especially when they're, oh my God, when they're creamy, and I like the brown eggs and that dark yellow yolk. Just stir it up in the pot, which is a good butter. Just stir it up and eat the bread. Oh my God, it's so good. I can't eat it all because it hurts my stomach so bad. So I began to look at some things that I was seeing on the internet that were infomercials about gut health out of the blue. Programming. So as I began to see things just pop up on my screen about gut health, I came across a natural, it's something that a place that I follow, a natural website that I follow, and I try to get information from them sometimes. It'll help me to see what I need inside my body, per se, to what I'm craving. So I began to see some stuff, and it was talking about leaky gut. And oh, wait a minute. I remember the doctor saying something about a leaky gut when I got my my gallbladder taken out. I remember him saying something about a leaky gut, but I can't remember. He didn't go into specifics about a leaky gut. So I started looking up leaky gut, and then I said, "Oh, okay. So this is what leaky gut is." So if you don't know what leaky gut is if your stomach, starting out, first of all, the lining of your stomach is the sheet, thinner than the sheet of a paper, but the elasticity is as strong as steel. But if steel gets rusted, it'll begin to deteriorate. So, in your stomach is the lining. Oh my God, is the lining of my baby. I love him so much. I'm so glad I'm always on his mind. It's so beautiful. I love it. Anyway, so the lining of your stomach, I'll put the camera down a little bit. The lining of your stomach. What's this about? The line of your stomach is where the food is dropping to. The food is dropping to the line of your stomach. Now, if you drop food into the line of your stomach that has too many acids in it, then the acids will begin to eat away at that lining, and then you'll have like, see how like my fingers had these little, before like they were together, you couldn't get anything through that. But if they begin to kind of like expand, you know, like you stretch your stomach out too far, you eat too much because you really, this is how big your stomach is in your. So if you eat more than this amount of food, then you eat too much. Henceforth is the reason why I was putting my food on a saucer. You see how big my hand is. So I started out a saucer, like I said, it was this big. And then I went to a saucer this big. And then I started, realize I could make my plate bigger and just put less food on it anyway. So as I did this, I realized, okay, after so much time, we get spaces in between that. So the little finite, really small spaces in between there. This is where the food that you have eaten, the things that you put in your mouth, and the food that you've eaten, it begins to, it's gonna start dissolving. It's starting to break down. Those acids are starting to break down. But if they don't break down properly, because it's either too much or not enough of the right acid, the correct, I should not say right acid, the correct acids, if they're not the correct acids, but once they start breaking up and they start bleeding out of your stomach, it's going through that thin, so you get little droplets of the food that you ate. It's going directly into other parts of your body. And that brings a negative reaction because your body is getting, excuse me, excuse me, your body is getting the food nutrients before it's ready to come out in your bloodstream. It's bypassing, going through your intestinal tract and coming straight out your stomach. So what goes in your intestinal tract? Your bowel, your poop, your stool. That's what's going in there. So if that is not making it all the way to your intestines just yet, and it's leaking into the rest of the part of your gut, is here, and it's because you done stretched it out probably about there, and then it starts leaking out, that begins to begin a chain reaction in your body. And what started in my body, my stomach will start to hurt. It will start to cramp up. I begin to sweat. I begin to feel nauseous. I begin to get headaches. My eyes will get blurry. I feel clammy. And then my mouth will get really pasty wet. And either I'm going to go to the bathroom or I'm not. Or I'm just going to sit there and I'm going to be in pain to the point where my stomach is hurting so bad. It feels like I could just tear that joker straight out of my body. That's the way I feel. The pain made me feel that way every time. And I wanted to eliminate that because I didn't want to feel that pain anymore. But to let you know this, when I say that you allowing yourself to eat foods that are not matching your body chemical makeup, when you decide to eat foods that's not matching your body chemical makeup, what you're doing is you're introducing the rest of your body to trauma, to pure trauma. If anybody that has ever had gas pains, that is from the trauma, from the food that you have eaten. Your body is saying this is not normal for you. You need to understand this is a warning. This is not normal for you. If you continue to do this, you're going to be sick. I'm going to affect more areas in your body. I'm going to put cancers and things in your body. I gave this analogy, and this is the last thing that I'm going to say, because I'm done after this. I've been on here for almost 2 hours, and I think I've said enough because I've talked enough. But I said this to a few of my clients in my Zumba class. Whenever you are eating and you eat a steak, hamburger meat, any kind of grainy foods, it has to take time to digest. And if you don't have the correct acids in your body to break down the food in the time frame in which it's to be broken down, then it leaves behind residue. The residue becomes a foreign substance to the body, and all health starts in your stomach. All health starts in your stomach because all nutrients come from your food. Okay? So with that being said, inside your body is 98.6 degrees in the heat of your body. You're warm on the inside. Okay? To keep your body temperature the correct temperature, you have to eat the correct foods and ingest the correct nutrients. That's the only way to keep your immune system working properly. With that being said, once you do this, you need to understand if you put foods in your body that take a long time to digest, the longer it takes to digest, the harder it's going to be on your system. If you put food in the refrigerator and you leave it in there for a week, if you leave it in there for 2 days, it will begin to deteriorate. It's 30 some degrees in most refrigerators, 32 degrees, I think, in most refrigerators. If not, it's colder. Still, with the moisture and whatnot in that refrigerator, your food will spoil, it will smell, it will become unruly because it's rotten. Now, in your stomach, it's much warmer than your refrigerator. The shelf life in your stomach starts as soon as that food hits your gut line. If it goes past the time frame in which you are to digest this food, it builds up and builds up and builds up. And if you eat 3 times a day, every day, and don't go to the bathroom but 3 times, you have made a mistake in your life because something is being left behind. And you will be able to tell it in the rise and fall of your gut line. If your top half is much larger than your bottom half and it protrudes out, 9 times out of 10, you have a gut lining issue. You have an intestinal issue. Your intestines and your gut is swollen. It can only stay swollen but for so long. How long will you allow your body to reject itself? We don't really realize that that's what we're doing. We don't really understand that that's how we're taking out our bodies through that trauma. But whenever we do, we hear people say, I hear people say, I was just in a store the other day with 2 young ladies and they were talking about this. And I tell her, After the lady walked out the store, I told her the same thing I'm saying to you. But the lady before her, when I said, I really don't eat the meat because da-da-da-da-da, the lady says this, I have to have my meat. I have to have it. Why? Ask yourself why you have to have something. If you ask yourself, if you say to yourself, I want a chocolate sundae, Stacy. I put myself in a position. And I love those Wendy's floats. I love those things. I love vanilla shakes. I love ice cream. I love those things. But when I realized that I'm hurting, I'm in some major pain. I didn't have to have that because I didn't have to have that pain. When I realized that my poop was being negatively affected, I said, I can't, I don't like this feeling in my body. I'm hurting from the top to the bottom. I'm hurting from here on down. Here on down. My whole body is shaking. I had an episode in the car with my daughter, and I hadn't eaten anything because I didn't want to feel the pain. I was disoriented because I hadn't eaten anything. I was emotional because I didn't know what to do. And I just started crying. I was boo-hoo crying. And I said, I don't know what to do. It's hurting so bad. I'm hurting so bad. Nobody don't understand how the pain that I'm going through. And she looked over at me like, oh my God. That day changed my whole entire life. I said, I never want my child to see me like that about some daggone food. Food. You crying because you can't eat food. Girl, do you realize that people hungry all over the world? You eat something that's not going to make your stomach hurt. Common sense. I was like, woe is me for like a whole 30 minutes. And I looked at my daughter and she looked at me and I bust out laughing. I said, it just hurt so bad. Then I came to my realization right then and there. Stacy, what you crying for? Honey, you can teach her cry. Eat what don't make your stomach hurt. Stop eating that stuff. You might like it, but it don't like you. It don't like you. It don't like you. It does not like you. The food that you eating is making your stomach hurt, and the food that you eating that's causing you to feel nauseous. The food that you eating is not digest in less than a day. Don't eat it. It ain't worth it. It's not worth it. It's not worth your health. It's not worth your maintaining your mental stability. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, that messed with my mind so bad. I don't want that to mess with your mind. Don't do it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Eat what you can to nourish your body. Period. Period. Griffin. Period. And I can't stress enough how my children were right there with me, watching me. I started going to the local plaza here in Moncton. I started exercising out there and I started working out there. They were with me the whole time. They were recording me because I needed a visual of what I was doing. I needed to be able to look back at what I was doing and see what I was doing for what I was doing, how I was going to keep going. And I told my God, I said, this is what I want to do. And this is how I want to be able to continue to maintain my life. I want it to always be a constant reminder that this is what got you where you are. And you can't change, and you can't change up and start doing the old way, because if you go back the old way, you're going to go through that pain. And you don't want to go through that trauma. That's trauma. I don't want to go back to somebody touching on me. I don't want to go back to nobody touching on me. And I don't want my children to have to go through that. I don't want them to go through. A man uh, try to take me with him one day. Called me on the phone and God gave me a dream. And I told my mom, that man is not for me. You're my pastor. You're my teacher. You're my God. I don't need that man to teach me. You've been teaching me all this time in my life. I respect you and I respect everything that you do. And that man disrespected you by calling you, telling you that he can do better than what you do. No, I don't want that. I'm not going to no Florida. And what if I would have went to Florida? My whole life probably would change, because right now people are getting abducted in Florida. People are getting uh, sex trafficked in Florida, organ harvesting in Florida. That man saw something in me that he could take from me. He didn't see anything for me that he could give me. He couldn't give me anything that my mama wasn't already giving me. I wouldn't have been able to do what I did for him in his life had not my mama taught me what she taught me. Never. So when she called me, I know she was calling me with sincerity and saying, Stacey, this man, he really sees something in me. And I said, you see something in me. And you nourish that every day. You see something in me. You nourish that in me. I don't need that man to show me nothing. I don't need him to teach me nothing. You teaching me. You teaching me. You guiding me. You leading me in the direction I need to be going. Directly and indirectly. I don't need that. You don't need that. You don't need nobody. You know what you know when you know how you know it. Stand on the principles in which you peaceably can live. Not backbiting, fighting, and arguing with people all day long. That's not something I ever want to or will continue to in my life. And like I said before, the blessings of God be upon you and upon that person that will try to take that away from you. Blessings and curses will be reaped over their head. They'll be thinking they're getting blessings, but they'll be reaping the curses. Because somebody's going to show them who they really are. Like me and my boyfriend say, somebody got to die. And when we say die, we die in the spiritual. We don't die physically. Ain't nobody going to kill you. But your spirit's going to, that spirit in you is going to die. Somebody got to die. Somebody got to be willing to go. And it's not going to be me, because I'm not being willing to you. That negative spirit's got to go. So with that being said, by the time I left that laundromat, I'm going back to the laundromat. I told you I'd be bouncing all over the place. By the time we got ready to leave that laundromat, the woman had to do her job, because I think we were the last people there. She had to do her job. She had to clean the place up. She had to keep passing by her, because she didn't want to stay there no longer than she had to. She would go home like normal people. I understand it, because I wouldn't go home with my family too. But I could have gone home a little quicker if you had not been agitated. So it was like, I gotta get pencil. She had to pass through. It was like, excuse me, I'm not gonna hit you, baby. She was talking to me. She talked to my son. Cause my son was older. Like, I see you later. Not he didn't do nothing to her, but he gonna respect her. I see you, and I know you were mean to my mom, so I'm watching you. So in her mind, she thought that he was being aggressive. She was the one who was aggressive the whole time. I'm not gonna hit you, baby. Baby, no, you're not gonna hit my son with the car by mistake. You don't even have it. You don't even have to. You didn't even have to say that. All you had to do is say, "Excuse me." Nobody's afraid of you possibly hitting me. And if you did, we would just move out of the way and see how the aggression is gonna keep moving. We don't fight violence with violence. We fight violence in the spirit. And my son would have whooped the other hand in the spirit. Because he would have been like, oh, it's okay. Not to dismiss it, because he is dismissing it. Just letting her know. We see that you're childish and we don't care. It starts at home. It starts at home. Don't get it twisted. How you show, how you perform in this public eye is not a movie. It's reality. And everybody has boundaries. Everybody has boundaries. And need to respect the boundaries of other people. We live in America, where we're the land of the free and the home of the brave. And that's been instilled in me for a long time. But some people lose their way in their patriotic life, being American citizens, and they think that it's not about them as an American citizen. But it is. You're an American citizen if you're watching this from America and you have your citizenship papers and you have been born here and you're an American. And America is where we live, and we need to love each American as Americans and let them be who they are without disrupting your boundaries. You have a right to your boundaries. Period. Period. Nobody else can take over what you and who you are. You are important, you matter, and nobody can take that away from you. You can give it away, and that too is your choice. And we ain't talking about free will, we're talking about self-choice. But for free will, there is none, but there is self-choice. I don't give a care what nobody says. There is no free will, because somebody telling us what to do everywhere we go. And you can't do free as you will, because there's boundaries. And nobody can come into your boundaries. Allow yourself to be who you are while you're not affecting that man on the other side. Nobody wants to see you be negative, not even because of somebody else's negativity. I don't condone anything that happened between this situation with this young man who got shot in the back. I don't condone no cop, and I don't condone that young man. Neither one of them I condone. I condone the parents who raised these people, both sides, to be in fear. I say you are sorry parents. You didn't teach your children how not to fear. I will be a sorry parent to not continue to teach my children. Have no fear. The sky's the limit. You have the authority to be your own personal self without hurting another person. You cannot inflict your will upon another person. You only can inflict your will upon you. Be you. Don't try to be someone you're not. It's not good.